we are going to be going through the dashboard, just to have a quick overview on all of the different widgets that we have on the dashboard, or different tabs, I should say, and just take you through a few other parts of the system that may be beneficial if you're not too familiar with some of the settings that we have on the system. So just give it a few more seconds, see if anyone will join. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we'll begin now. So just start off, like I said, we're going to be going for the dashboard. First thing I'm going to take you through is the gross income. Now, the gross income on the dashboard does provide information from the last 7 days, but is only going to be for the value of bookings that we have made in the last 7 days on your organization. Now, this is not money that you've actually received into your bank account. This is just the value of the bookings that have been made in the last 7 days. So please, you know, if you're trying to match it with your bank account, please don't. This is kind of a different area. Okay, so if I just expand on this to get more information, we'll be able to see some of the bookings that have been made in the last 7 days. So for example, what's a good one to choose? So I'll choose mine, for example, made by myself, or a Capman here, because it's kind of a hefty booking. So it's a bit easier to go through. So as you can see, if I click my parent name here, just put it into another tab, it will straight away open up any parent account you have on this section. Okay, so all of these accounts, you'll be able to see the parent accounts. We can see that this is the gross income from the booking I've made. So if I expand the booking reference, it will actually take us to this specific booking. Okay, from the dashboard, we can also see the first date that has been booked and the last date that has been booked. Okay, so if I expand on that, we can see 1509. If I go down, we've got the total booking cost 1509. Okay, now obviously, like I said before, it's just a gross income. This doesn't actually mean that we've received this money. As you can see, this booking is still in quite a lot of debt, and it actually does have as well an overdue amount. Okay, so if I just go down to the installment plan, you'll be able to see this for yourself in more detail. Obviously, the childcare voucher here, see everything's due, so this is all expected into the future. But then we do have the card installment, which is still overdue, which has been for a day. But if I then go back, this is the gross income. Next, we have the overdue amount. So if I just expand on this, with the overdue amount, this lists all of the bookings that have been made where there's kind of an expected date, but it could be a missed payment, for example. So the overdue, easier to show you, if I choose some bookings that are in debt. So we've got Rebecca Smith here, she's got 59 bookings in debt, believe it or not. And then she's also actually got 3 bookings in credit. So this is a good area to see how many bookings you have in debt in credit. And if you'd like, you'll be able to actually use some of them bookings that you have in credit, use the credit towards the bookings that are in debt. So that can help obviously offset some of the balances. Now, it does depend on obviously how much credit that parent has on their account. But as you can see here, they've got minus £280.37 fees. So if I just expand on some details here, oops, sorry, if I click on the details here, it will give us a full drop down of all of the bookings that we have. Okay, so as you can see, like I mentioned before, we've got many bookings, like the 52, and then the credit ones. So as you can see, we scroll down, we've got many different bookings here for that one. If I go back to the dashboard, the next section we have is our missed installments. Now, the missed installments lists failed automated card payments and other installments, such as standing orders or childcare vouchers, which has not yet been reconciled. Okay, so on here, once again, we've got the parent name on the side, we've got the missed amount, and then it will also show the specific booking that has been missed. So we can see here with Rebecca, she's got £16 missed on this booking. So if I expand on this, we can see it is actually a deferred payment and it was due yesterday. So as you can see, it's actually got overdue by 0 days. That's probably because it could be, it's not the full 24 hours yet, which is why it hasn't hit 1. But it will still obviously show that number. So if I go onto that booking and go to installments, we should be able to see this outstanding amount. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the £16, which was due yesterday. Okay, so the same thing applies to every payment type we have on this section. So for example, we've got one here for Anjan, £50 missed amount, and that's a card one, and we can see that's actually overdue by 9 days. Okay, so like I say, it's very good to just keep track of everything, and this is a good indicator to see how much there is, you know, on some bookings, and to actually see how many days it's overdue by. So if you need to do any chasing, you can obviously contact these parents from the communications where you'll be able to target accounts in arrears. Okay, on from that as well, you can also communicate with them. Obviously, the way the system works as well with the account thresholds and some other settings that we have, obviously it can prevent some of these things from happening. It can also prevent some parents from booking other activities in the future. So it is well worth noted that, for example, if you have a overdraft threshold of £50 and the parent is past that, they won't be able to make any bookings. So I will show you just in a moment where you can set up some of these settings. But I'm just going to quickly finish with the financial side of the dashboard. And that does take us to our last financial part of the dashboard, which is the money outstanding. So as you can see, we've got quite a hefty money outstanding, but this is not actually money that's expected right now. This is actually showing a list of all bookings that are not cleared yet. So some of this money could be, installment plans or payments that are due in the future. Okay, so as you can see, there's quite a lot of expensive ones here. So we've got one here for actually Baron, with 6 bookings in debt again, 2 in credit, but it's over £1,000. If we click the details here, once it loads, and then we'll obviously get the different amounts. As you can see, we've got the credit, we've got the debt, but as you can see, there might not actually be any missed installments for some of these bookings because, oh, okay, so this one is cancelled. So yeah, that's another thing to note. So it does actually show cancelled bookings in this as well, in this area of the dashboard. What's a good one to choose? So if I choose this one, for example, and expand on it, we'll then be able to obviously see the installment plan. And then you obviously then see there's many payments that have been made already, and there's a lot that are due in the future. Okay, so it pretty much is the majority of this card installment plan that's actually on the outstanding here. If I go back to dashboard, we also have a section for bookings that have been made in the last 7 days. So if I just expand on this, now you may have noticed as well, I've been opening a lot of the different the different sections in different tabs. You can actually use Magicbooking and open everything in different tabs. It'll be a lot easier for you to match payments, match bookings to the dashboard. So it can be used in pretty much every section of the platform. The only time we recommend do not using this, because it will be pretty bad, is to use it when you connect as multiple users as once. So please make sure you do not connect as multiple users as once. But like I say, other than that, please feel free to use the tabs. It's very beneficial for you, especially when it comes to financial data and comparing and stuff. Because as I mentioned before, this is the bookings that I've made in the last 7 days. There hasn't been many, but if you would like, you can actually export the data. Now you can actually export the data on pretty much all of the other tabs on the dashboard as well. And that will obviously provide you with an Excel spreadsheet with all of the relevant data within that tab. Okay, so like I say, this is the last 7 days. So not many bookings, but I'm sure many of you would have many more than this. If I go back to the dashboard, we also have a section for new users that have been created in the last 7 days. Now, this is also, provided for all of your centers you may have. So if you've just got one center, you'll just have, like we have here, Magicbooking, and it will just have all of the different parents that have signed up to that. But if you have got multiple centers, like we do have multiple centers as well, but if you have many, it will obviously break it down for you in a bit more detail. Okay, so same thing, if you were to export this, you'll be able to read the information a lot easier. Also, you can also communicate with these parents because there is a filter on our communications panel which allows you to communicate with newly registered users. So yeah, like I say, the dashboard, that pretty much clears up the dashboard as overall. There is also tabs here that you can expand to get some further information. It's a bit more graphical, a bit more like graphs. So as you can see here, and it will just show us a bit more of the data if you'd like to see it in this kind of view. Okay, next off, I'm just going to quickly expand on this just for some of you that might not know about some of the settings that we have that could impact future bookings and parents making bookings. So we have a booking rule here that says cancel booking if first card payment has not been paid within, and then we've got the value and then hours. So this would be 1 hour, for example, for the card payments. So at the time of the booking, a parent will always have to pay the first card installment if they've got an installment plan. Now, this basically says if they don't pay for that installment within the first hour of making the booking will automatically cancel. Okay, so I'm sure many of you are already aware of this setting, but for all of you that are not, if you set this value to an hour or 24 hours or whichever you choose, up until that point, the parent might not pay. Okay, so within this hour, there's a parent that might not actually pay for the first card installment, and then once that hour has been passed, it will automatically cancel that booking. Okay, so it's a very good setting to have if you want to kind of like keep track of your payments, make sure parents are paying, and they're not having too much debt on their accounts. If I scroll down to the bottom, we also have one called account overdraft threshold. Now with the account overdraft threshold, ours is currently set to 0, but if you did set a overdraft threshold, if a parent was to hit, let's just say, for example, we put like £20. If a parent was to go over the £20, they won't be able to make any more bookings until the debt has been cleared on their account. So if they do have an installment and it's like, let's say, for example, it was due yesterday, like Rebecca Smith had a £16 one yesterday, let's say she hit over £20, she won't actually be able to make any more bookings until she's paid off and is underneath the overdraft threshold here. So she's £16, so she's still eligible. So she can't actually make other bookings even though she's got a debt. So if you would like parents to not make any bookings until they've cleared all their debt, and if you'd like to be on top of things like that, please feel free to put this to 0. And that will basically mean parents can't make any more bookings until they've cleared their accounts.